Cooler questions Son Goku's judgment. Allowing Vegeta to train before the two of them had put them both in serious danger. While the prince and his future Super Saiyan son were already quite formidable, giving them time to increase their power even more could backfire in their faces. Once again, the Emperor had one of those moments when he wondered whether or not if Son Goku was a tactical genius, or if he was merely lucking out all the time, that he was just a jammy git. Apparently, whilst they were discussing their plans, the Namekian was having a little argy-bargy with one of the androids. From what he could tell, as apparently the Genie Man and the Saiyans had some way of following the battle from up top, they were actually pretty even. The Namekian was right, he could go toe-to-toe with them. Salza seemed anxious, as he felt that everyone was looking at him, which in a weird way, entertained Cooler. "This doesn't feel right, my lord. We should have seized the opportunity and simply deny ourselves from getting more powerful. Salza, this planet has at least 6 beings more powerful than or equal to me. This universe is evolving, and so should we. I will destroy these Saiyans in good time. But for now, those artificial freaks are the main obstacle. If we pass through them, once again, we shall be unstoppable." Brother and father had grown too accustomed to being at the supposed top of the food chain, of the evolutionary ladder. We must not succumb to that. "I can't help but notice your new prosthetics, my lord. Are you alright?" If you are asking if the Earthlings have reprogrammed me in some way, no. As far as I can tell, these are indeed just standard upgrades. Funny, isn't it? Such a primitive planet holds many technological marvels that were hidden away from us for such a long time. "My lord, you know that I have always been loyal to you, and I will follow you whenever you tell me. But I do have my doubts about this." Salza expected to be berated for his insolence, but instead, Cooler just gazed toward the surface of the planet from the edge of the lookout. "Oh, trust me, so do I. These are new feelings that I have yet to process, but it feels kind of exciting. Revitalizing, even." "Revitalizing?" The Brenchian did not understand what his master meant at that moment. "Salza, the moment I started my tenure as the commander of my father's armies, there was no one that could truly match me. When I was leading you and the other members of the armored squadron, or even lesser troops, there was no risk involved. We always knew that we would win." Salza never thought about it that way, actually. During his time in the Force, he had grown to unimaginable strength, yes, but from time to time, there were individuals in and outside King Cole's arsenal who could match him. "And," Cooler continued, "after my first loss, I was admittedly furious, because I wanted to prove something that was simply not true. It seems that I too have been too comfortable with my position. I'd mused about a challenge for years, but when it actually came to light, oh, it did anger me." The Emperor smirked. "I don't think I understand. Aren't you angry anymore? Don't you want revenge?" "I do. Yes, I do. But the thrill of the battle has never been more real than it is right now. The risk, the pain, the improvements that you have to make. They truly added some meaning to my quest for power. I love it." "You're starting to sound like a Saiyan, Monsieur Cooler." Salza tried to bite his tongue, but he couldn't help himself. "Oh, am I?" Cooler gazed towards Son Goku, who was talking to his son on the other side of the lookout. The boy seemed to be in a bit of distress at that moment. Well, maybe that's why they won the round first. To defeat an enemy, Salza, you must get to know them, understand them, not simply knowing their tactics, but their culture, their behaviors, their way of thinking. Get inside their heads before you crush them with your fist. This revelation hit Salza a bit out of the blue, in fact. They could hear Gohan shouting, "I need to go there! I need to help Mr. Piccolo! Mr. Piccolo's ki is fading! He's in trouble! I gotta help him!" Gohan was yelling. The Emperor then approached Son Goku. "Where is this Kame House place you mentioned?" "Well, I can take you there, but I don't think either of us is powerful enough to defeat Cell." "I am more durable than you, Saiyan. Besides, the Namekian is the strongest we have right now until Vegeta and his son leave the chamber." "My lord, this is..." Salza was starting to panic. "Calm down, Salza. You stay here and await my return." "Why are you wanting to risk your life for Mr. Piccolo?" Gohan was surprised by this. "I am not doing this for anyone. I simply want to have my shot at this Cell creature. I also wish to do some research. I've been sitting around here for too long anyway. I need to stretch my legs. Son Goku, will you teleport me off the battlefield if the situation went, let's say, south? My lord, why won't you trust me? Salza, be silent! Would you? We want that rematch after all. Goku narrowed his gaze. Alright. And after getting directions, Cooler launched himself at supersonic speed to find the place. What he discovered were two androids. The big male one, who seemed to have sustained some serious damage, and the blonde female one. Also, Cell seemed slightly different than Piccolo had described. Cooler quickly added 2 and 2 together. The lack of the one that knocked him out was really telling when he actually thought about it. As the monster was slowly moving toward the androids, Cooler sent a pretty powerful blast in their direction. It was Cell, not the red-headed one, who blocked the attack. Hey, find your own family to block. Oh, I forgot. They're all dead. Good day to you. So, you're the Cell. Frankly, not impressed. Cell smiled creepily. Big words from half a man. You are a pesky little copy, aren't you? I am so much more than a copy. I am created from the genetic makeup of the universe's strongest. Cooler used that moment to seize his opportunity and shot a powerful blast at Cell. Warriors. Okay, the monster wasn't even phased, but Cooler expected that. Through the corner of his eye, he noticed the Namekian's arm in the nearby water. He might be still alive. So Cooler, did you come here to kneel before the Saiyans? This must be so humiliating for you. No. I'm here to make sure you will not destroy this planet before I do. Oh, your throne must be so comfortable. Why don't you just go back there and lie down on it? You know, I've never seen myself as a ruler candidate, but considering that there will be a vacuum in power very soon, Cell appeared right before Cooler's face. I might as well take the opportunity. The monster launched a powerful punch in the Emperor's direction, but with all of his might, he was able to at least block the attack. Or at least partially. Impressive! You are stronger than I thought. You've had some upgrades, it seems. Through the corner of his eye again, Cooler could see the androids escaping. Fine. For now, he was not strong enough to take down Cell himself, nor destroy them. So if he got the Bugman's attention at least, maybe they could hide from him and have a sporting chance of survival. He could deal with them later if he wanted to, once he had gotten stronger. And besides, Cooler had no ability that could seriously damage Cell, but his durability made this thing almost manageable. If this time chamber could make him stronger, Cell felt like something that could be taken down after all. Very quickly, the Emperor found out that the monster was just pacing himself. After a solid few minutes, Cell started to look around. Wait! Where are they? Where have they gone? You let them slip away from me! Well, I'm sorry, but can't you pay attention to your own food as well as beating me senseless? Cooler mocked Cell, which resulted in a pretty powerful punch to the gut. The Emperor was sure that this would leave a mark. It would be rather annoying to lose those new upgraded limbs, so he was very glad that Cell punched him in the gut. He headbutted Cell without result, which caused this horrible frog-like smile to emerge. But instead of taking his head away, Cooler looked deep into Cell's eyes and eye-beamed them with his own. Cell roared in pain. Finally! Some damage! But that probably won't last long, because he remembered the regeneration. As the Emperor used his telekinesis to drag the Namekian out of the water, and then throw him over his shoulder, he could hear Cell in the background roaring in fury, trying to go from him. Just trying to Fortunately, as he had hoped, Son Goku did appear and took both of them away in an instant, leaving Cell flailing around screaming furiously as his eyes were slowly healing. As they appeared on the lookout, Cooler nodded to Son Goku. That was some rather exquisite timing, Saiyan. I believe this is yours, child. And he simply dropped Piccolo on the marble floor of Kami's former home at the foot of Gohan. Thanks for saving him, Cooler. Do not mistake this for any sign of compassion, young one. Everything I did out there I did for my own reasons. We have a common enemy, but we are not allies. Gohan, though, seemed not entirely convinced about that, and proceeded to feed the Namekian a senzu bean. Meanwhile, Cooler couldn't help but notice that Salza was starting to form some thoughts, but was seemingly too afraid to voice them. They proceeded to not talk to each other for a few hours before the doors to the chamber opened and out emerged Vegeta and his son. Bulma, the blue-haired woman, approached them in a very weird and awkward family reunion sort of thing, which Cooler found quite jarring. But as soon as it was over, Vegeta walked over to Cooler, about to maybe cuss him out or something, but instead punched him off the lookout with one hit. When Cooler returned, the prince looked really smug about himself.
Do you see? That's what you are to me right now. Barely a challenge. I am strong enough to destroy Cell alone, and I don't even need to kill you right now to make my point. Instead, I'll allow you to live with the knowledge of how small and insignificant you really are.
Cooler wasn't fazed by this taunt, he had heard this before.
We shall see. If you can kill it, then stop talking to me and get to work!
Then Son Goku and his son walked into the chamber, and Vegeta and the Future Boy did indeed go on to fight Cell.
I hate that he can just get away with talking to you like that, my lord. And if he really is so powerful, what is even the point of the other Saiyans training, and even our own?
Cooler smirked. Do you remember our previous conversation? Now Vegeta is thinking that he is on top of the ladder. I have learned firsthand that being too sure about your own ability for all eternity might lead to your downfall. From what he later gathered, Cell was so furious that he started to decimate nearby islands. At some point, Vegeta and his son found him, and the prince was utterly dominating the fight. Initially, Cooler was disappointed. Was this it? Was this really the end of proceedings? But very quickly, he realized that he had been right. Cell offered Vegeta to challenge him in his perfect form, and the only thing that he needed to do was to find Android 18, absorb the other android. And as the fight ensued between father and son, with a weird appearance from the little bald one who, as he learned, had a detonator for the female android all that time and never used it, in fact destroyed it, Cell, the fool, could finally fulfill his destiny and become perfect. Yep, indeed, Vegeta was the one who caused more damage than Cooler ever did in his time here. And as for Cooler, he wasn't even shocked by the revelation. Apparently, the Future Boy gave Cell a pretty good challenge, but that didn't end well. In the end, the deranged monster decided to make a tournament of some sorts, from what he could tell, to give everyone time to train even more. He was so sure of his power. And to Cooler, this was the biggest proof that he could be defeated after all. With the pride of Vegeta, his father, and his brother, and even his own, this monster was grossly overconfident. Times were a lot simpler not long ago. I don't disagree, but I cannot blame for the world getting more, interesting. As the hours passed and they were conversing, Son Goku and his son left the chamber. Both of them had emerged with light golden hair, but their expressions seemed tamer than what Cooler remembered, unlike the actual transformation. Whatever they did in there changed them considerably.
Well, a lot has happened in these 24 hours, Saiyan. Let's hope you're a lot stronger now.
I have a secret weapon. It could be useful. I think we'll be alright.
I do hope so, for your own sake, as when I leave this room, you will not be able to stop me. Let's go, Sauza!
And as the Brenshin approached quickly, albeit with hints of reluctance, the door opened. Together, they walked into the great white beyond. And that's where we're going to be leaving things right now, as we end Act 2.